Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today, season 21, and it's going to be an absolute cracker. So hello, hope you're all doing well. First of all, before we get into anything else in today's episode, just want to say thank you ever so much to everyone who has watched the series basically across the entirety of FM19. We started off from humble beginnings, and then last time out, 20 seasons it took us, but we won the Premier League, which was mental. And considering at such short notice, I said, right, we're going to do this as a live premiere so we can all watch it live together. And considering it's such short notice, and there are over 100 of you in there at one point watching it live, I think that's an absolutely cracking effort that I'm really proud of. So thank you for sticking along the entire journey. You lads are legends. Also, you ladies too, also legends. I know there's a few of you out there, so thank you. So in today's episodes, we're going to talk through some new transfers, which there haven't been many of, but we'll talk about that more later on. We've got Newcastle up first in today's episode, and then after that, we have got the Champions League draw, which is mental, because of course we are in the Champions League, so that's coming up in today's episode. We've played 3 games already this season, and again, we'll get onto that very, very shortly. But first of all, there's a few little things I want to talk about. First of all, it could be sad news, but it is also kind of happy news as well. This is going to be the last season of the Lincoln Loco 2. After this season, that's it. No more Lincoln Loco 2, because we're right on the edge now of FM20 coming out. So we'll do this season, and then there's a little bit of leeway between when the beta comes out. I'm also away in Istanbul from the 10th to the 15th of October. So that's like a week where I can't, or a long weekend where I can't make videos. Also cutting it pretty fine for when the beta might come out. But I think the beta's coming out in the second half of October. It should be coming out in the second half of October from what I've gathered. That the release date's in November. The beta comes out 2 weeks before, so that does make it the second half of October. But I'm cutting it pretty fine, so it could come out while I'm away, which would be a little bit annoying. There's also a lot more content that I'm going to be bringing out soon, and some different games as well, or one different game in particular, coming out very, very soon. I think some of you may know, I think I could have tweeted something about it, but I don't want to give too much away just yet, but that's going to be starting next Monday. So that's pretty much that then. Last season of Lincoln Loco, a new series on a different game coming out next week as well before FM20 comes out, and then we'll sort of run side by side, but of course Football Manager takes the precedence. So don't worry, you'll get your daily Football Manager fix. The next thing that I want to talk about is actually what I should have said first. I took a bit of an impromptu weekend off recording, just being busy. I've been really busy the past week recording videos and stuff like that. I just had an impromptu weekend off where I just didn't look at any games, Twitter, anything like that. So basically just stood back for a few days, and I used that time a bit to think about the future of the channel in a way. So that's kind of what I'll talk about a little bit as well, future of the channel. Obviously, I've made it clear in the past that, you know, I love doing this, and it would be an absolute dream to do this full time. And I really, really feel like FM20 could be massive for me in terms of getting towards that stage. And I think, you know, it could happen over the course of FM20 if, you know, things go really well, sort of thing. Obviously, it's all pipe dream sort of stuff and things like that. But it's obviously something I'm thinking about a lot, and it's something that I want to try and accelerate as much as possible as well. So I've got another Patreon going up. I say another one because we had one a long time ago actually now, because at the time I was a student, and I wanted to, you know, get these lights, get this camera, get this microphone, all that kind of stuff. I mean, a new computer, what I'm on now. All I used to record on was this really crappy laptop. In fact, the crappy laptop is up running at the moment because I don't understand how I used to make videos on it. It's really awful. And so that was the whole point of that Patreon, to sort of raise a bit of money to get that new equipment. And we did that. And you guys helped me out with that massively. And then after that, I got that new stuff, and I was like, all right, well, I don't need the Patreon anymore. I felt a bit bad about, I don't know, I felt a bit bad about it. If I've got nothing to build towards, what's the point in having it, sort of thing. So that's where we stopped it. But now, because I'm kind of thinking like, this could be a realistic full-time thing in the not-so-distant future, I feel like it's justifiable to open up a Patreon again. So, obviously, do not feel any obligation to donate anything or anything like that. It's only if you want to, only if you can afford to. There'll be a link in the description. There'll be a link on top of the screen right now. There's loads of different perks, sort of thing. And, of course, let me know in the comment section what you want to see from the Patreon, because I don't want to... Obviously, it's something for you guys to invest in a way. And so I want you to have what you want from it as well. So let me know in the comment section and things like that, suggestions that you want to see from that kind of thing. But I just thought I'd let you know that there is a Patreon now. And if you ever want to, it's there in link in the description. Don't feel any obligation to do so. It's, you know, it's not, you know, watching my videos is enough as it is. So don't feel any obligation and things like that. But it's just there for people who want to. Also, I should point out as well, like if you're under 18 or you're a student and things like that, please don't donate to it. 'Cause I'm sure some of you want to, but at that young age, there's so much more important things than donating to me. So if you're like, under 18 students, please don't, because your money can be used for a lot better things at your age. And I think actually that is all I wanted to talk about. So a brief apology as to why there was no sort of content over the weekend sort of thing. There's a new Patreon, obviously, and the first point was that this is the last season of the Lincoln Loco 2. So there's sort of the talking points. Obviously, plenty of stuff coming up, which I'm really excited about, and I hope you are too. So I'll see you soon on that kind of stuff as well. But we need to get into today's episode properly. So we're going to start off with the transfers. Now, we've only made 3 transfers this summer. Now, we only had 60 million to spend. The board gave us 60 million, which wasn't actually that much. And because it's going to be the last season, I wanted to just spend like £1 million on a player and promise £100 million in like 3 seasons' time. That's what I wanted to do. However, no one was accepting bids like that. So instead, we've just brought 3 players in. We'll talk about this. 2 players in for money, which are very, very good players. And this guy, Pedro, who comes in from Real Madrid on a free transfer, who isn't meant to be at the club. He didn't get a work permit on his free transfer. So I meant to press decline, but I didn't press decline. I pressed accept. So now he's just at the club on 42k per week without a work permit. Can't play. No one else wants to buy him. So he's just here, wasting my time. So thank you, Pedro, for being here, but really, we don't want you. It was also quite annoying that Jefferson Brillinger was leaving to go to Gremio at the end of his contract, because of course he couldn't sign a new one because of the work permits. Very similar things for Daniel Venturelli. He's had to go because he couldn't get a new contract and he wanted to go, so we've let him go, which is a little bit annoying because we've not got a recognised CDM anymore. As much as I tried to bring one in, we just couldn't get one, which was really frustrating. Our backup goalkeeper has also gone to Hertha Berlin for £4 million to save on some money and things like that. And then Nicky Pillinger, who was an English midfielder that we had last season but barely used, has gone to Rapid Vienna for £6 million rather than 7.5 million. So they helped sort of transfer or fund some of these transfers and things like that. The first one is Peter Pelican from Bayern Munich. What a great name that is, for £32.5 million. He is a world-class striker and he's going to be coming in to support Bizu. And actually, he's done really well so far this season. So we're really pleased with Peter Pelican. More about him when we look over some other fixtures. But his history, he started off at Slavia Prague, went to PSG, and Bayern Munich recently bought him for £71 million. Barely played any games for them for some reason before coming to us, and has already got 5 goals in 3 league appearances. So it's not a bad transfer for us, that one. And then the other one is Tomislav Nesvic. He's come in from, where did he come from? Tomislav Nesvic. He came from Barcelona for £30.5 million, a centre-back, 4-star current ability, absolutely class as well. He was recently bought for Barcelona for £47 million. We got on a bit of a cheaper deal than that. Played very well for us, played very well for Barcelona. I think this guy's going to be a fantastic transfer for us. So I'm very pleased with Tomislav Nesvic. He looks decent as well. But they're the only 2 transfers we made, just because we sort of ran out of money after that point. So that was a bit annoying. But we do have a decent side. We obviously won the Premier League last season, so I am confident in our abilities. And we've already won the first 4 games of the season, technically. We beat Manchester United on penalties in the Community Shield, although that's not really an important game, is it? But it was nice to win that on penalties. Another trophy to add to the cabinet. We started off the season brilliantly well with a 5-1 win. Andreas with a brace and Peter Pelican on his debut, because he didn't play in the Community Shield game, on his debut got 3 goals, a hat-trick, which is absolutely fantastic stuff. So I was very, very pleased with that. We then had Manchester United in the league after that, and we were 2-0 down at half-time. And we didn't play very well until the 75th minute when I subbed Bizu off and brought Peter Pelican on. He scored immediately, scored in the 90th minute as well, and Luis Gustavo scored in the 81st minute. The last 15 minutes of that game was absolutely brilliant, and I wish I'd recorded it, but that was a fantastic win over Manchester United. And to continue with our 100% starting record to the season, if you want to include friendlies as well, we beat Burnley 1-0 with Fabian Chiesa scoring the only goal in that game. So great start to the season. Peter Pelican is doing well. Bizu not scoring the goals, so maybe he's just a one-season wonder. I'm a bit concerned about that, but at least we've got Pelican. We brought him in. He looks pretty decent. As I say, Newcastle up first as we sit top of a table after those first 3 games, joint with Tottenham, so that could be another good season with Tottenham. But Newcastle down in 9th after 2 wins and a loss. They're not a bad side, so it's going to be quite a tough game today. So it's not really a new look side at all after this summer transfer window. Slink is still in goal, Dockers at left back, Juliano at centre back, but Nesvic comes in as well alongside Klaassen, who was subject to a lot of bids this summer. He nearly went for £45 million. He didn't go in the end because, well, why didn't he go actually? I think I held out for 45. I think he had bids of 38 million pounds. I was holding out for 45 million pounds, but they didn't come in. We had a guy from Real Madrid ready to come in to replace him, but it never happened in the end. So Klaassen is still here. Agli and Andreas still in the middle. I wanted to try and get someone else in the centre of midfield to improve it, but instead I bought a striker, bought a defender and sold a central midfielder. So that doesn't make much sense either. But we've got January, at least. We can maybe get someone else in. No change in the attacking midfield either, as Luis Gustavo, Hart and Chisa stay where they are. But Peter Pelican is going to be leading the line today because Bizu has not been performing so far this season. Right then, kickoff is upon us here. And I don't know why the match stats aren't showing. They should be there. Right, match stats up, league table up. You can see we're still top of it right now. Fantastic stuff. We need to get a good result here against Newcastle as they come to us. I want to get a really good start to the season like we did last time around. Obviously, last season, we played really well at the start of the season, and that sort of sustained us through to the end of the season. We had our bad bit of form over in the new year. December, January, February time, that was a bit of bad form for us. But after that, it was all pretty decent, and we managed to block their free... Are we playing like a 100% match thing? Because what is going on here now? It's key highlights still. I don't know why we just watched the whole entire first minute of the game. That seemed like a bit weird. As I was saying though, last season we won the league with almost the lowest points total ever to win a Premier League. I think Manchester United had won it on 75 points back in the 90s at some point. So we got very, very lucky with our points total and winning the league last season. If we got 78 points this season or any other season, that wouldn't be enough to win the Premier League title. And I don't think we're going to win it this season. I don't think we're going to be strong enough, particularly with the Champions League football coming up. We've not really made any addition. In fact, we've got a smaller squad than last season now, technically speaking, actually. So that's not brilliant either, as Pelican is coming forward on the ball. Puts his shot wide of the mark, though. I'm not really fussed about the league this season, though, obviously. It's our last season now, and we've won the Premier League. I'd rather go and focus on a European competition. And I don't think we're going to be good enough to win the Champions League either. But I'd like to try and get as far as possible in it. And if we do get knocked out in the group stage, for example, if we become third in the group, I'd like to think we can go on to win the Europa League. So I want to have as a successful season as possible in Europe, more than anything else. So the league is going to be sort of second best this season. We're going to focus on European football as we go forward, which is why we've got the draw in today's episode, which I'm really excited about. As Pelican came close again there, but still not finding the back of the net. It looks like, though, Newcastle are coming forward and trying to score some goals to ruin our opening to the season. I'd like to get a good few wins under our belt to get some confidence going. But at the end of the day, I'm not massively fussed about league, as I was already saying. Although these players are looking very nervous, so let's give them a bit of encouragement out there. As we've got a throw-in. Doherty in towards Hart. Gustavo into Pelican, who gets his 6th goal of the season. And the first one that you've seen as well. He has been a superb signing so far. Perhaps another chance to score a goal just before half-time to keep the good run going as Pelican gets on the end of Klaassen's ball but gets tackled in the area. Newcastle, though, are coming forward on a bit of a counter-attack, although their ball forward's not brilliant. Apparently all the players are frustrated that I encouraged them, even though they were looking nervous at the time. Now they still look nervous. What's going on, lads? Passionately then, let's try and make them less nervous and happy with the performance out there. Keep it up. I mean, Cheetah looks switched off and that's that. Assistant manager, add nothing to that at all. I don't know what's going on with them. At least we're winning. At least we're winning and they're nervous. At least, I guess that's better than losing and then looking nervous. We've got a chance to build from the back, though, early in this second half as Nesvich puts it up towards Klaassen. And Klaassen coming forward now on number 2. Can he get a good ball into someone? Chisa on the ball into Andreas. Andreas from distance. What a rocket that was. We know how dangerous he is from outside the area, but that could be goal of the season already. So Klaassen coming forward with it then. Playing it inside a little bit into Chisa, into Andreas, and he just smacks it. And there's nothing anyone could do to stop that. As the game ticks on, though, we will probably bring Bizu on shortly. I want to give him some chances out there. And you guys love him, obviously, as well after last season. I love him after last season. A lot of you were saying out there, you need to name something after Bizu. And to be fair, if we hadn't renamed the stadium the Mark Mason Memorial Metrodome, I would be tempted, actually, to call it the Bizu Bowl, just because that sounds like a really cool stadium name. As Palmer's going to come on. No, Luigi's going to come on instead for Agni out there. They're the two changes that we're going to make. Bizu coming on, of course, for Pelican up front to give Bizu a go. Hopefully he scores a goal today. I'd love to see him get on the score sheet and get his season underway. As Newcastle come forward, put the ball across, keeping it in just about, but we've retained possession. This could be, I'm not sure what it's for. No, it's not the substitute. Substitutes already made, aren't they? So Chisa up towards Luis Gustavo. Come on, Bizu, grab a goal here, lad. Post. And he's done that a few times this season. Chisa putting the ball into the area, though, from a corner, and he's not really done much with it as Gustavo plays it back to Chisa. Luizio on the edge of the area. Andreas from distance again. Gustavo from a shorter distance in the end puts it in the back of the net for his second of the season, our third of the game. And surely now we are looking pretty comfortable to take this home as, again, Andreas threatening on the edge of the area, but it just sort of ricochets off, bounces in the path of Gustavo, and he just puts it at the near post. Brilliant. And to be fair, since that goal, not much has gone on at all. I think this is going to be the closing highlight of the game now as Everton, Newcastle hit the post. But really, I just watched the clock tick down for the final 20 minutes or so. No other action in today's game. We've clearly won it very comfortably. You can see here from the stats that we're very comfortable in today's game. And we've ended up 3-0 winners at home to Newcastle, which is absolutely fantastic. Because in seasons gone by, this is the type of game where on paper we should be winning, but we just sort of crumble. So it's good to see that we're sort of keeping up the momentum from last season as well. So I'm very, very pleased. If we can keep this kind of momentum up in European fixtures, I'll be more than happy. Now, the big question going into the Champions League draw, as you can see here on the 26th, are we going to be a first seed or a fourth seed? Now, I'm not entirely sure as Rangers are offering £3 million for Kooks now. That's not enough money. Right, so we won the league, which I think means we should be a first seed. However, it's our first season in any European football, so we've got 0 European coefficient, which means that we should be fourth seed. So I'm not entirely sure which way around it's going to be, as Tottenham end up beating Wolves 3-0 as well. So they keep themselves up on 12 points with us, which is, a bit exciting, I suppose. But here it is, the draw that we're all waiting for, the Carabao Cup third round. I mean, this is what we wanted all episode, isn't it? Let's keep drawing some teams then. Who are we going to get in that third round? We've got Lincoln United versus Plymouth. What a fixture that is going to be. Oh, my God, what a fixture. Obviously, that's not what we're actually waiting for. Champions League group stage is here, and we are first seed for the draw, which does make sense. We did win the league, so that is quite good. So we are a first seed side, which means we avoid some big clubs like PSG, Arsenal, they avoid them anyway because they're English, but Juventus, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, some big teams that we avoid. So we're in Group B, which is mental. So you can see down here, you can see behind my head, that's fine. So actually there are some big teams. In fact, there's arguably bigger sides in this second. I mean, obviously we're quite a long way in the future, so things have changed, but you'd argue these clubs are bigger than the clubs who are first seeds. I'd obviously want Porto, looking at these European coefficient scores and things like that. Or Inter Milan, they've got quite a low European coefficient score as well. So one of those two, Inter Milan in Group A, please be Porto, lads. It's Real Madrid. I mean, okay, we'll take Real Madrid, that's fine. We can beat them, I know we can. From the third seeds then, obviously you want Copenhagen. Obviously, that's the dream, Copenhagen. Please, lads, I want them. We've got Schalke, that's not too bad. We've got Schalke, we can take them on. And then fourth seeds, obviously, we want Prague, Split, Anderlecht or Malmo. To be fair, I'd take any of them apart from Ajax. Ajax look quite good, but we've got Slavia Prague. So that's a nice, well, you assume easy game in that one there. But that's our group. Real Madrid, Schalke, us, and Slavia Prague. Mental. And now all these fixtures have come through. We get to face Real Madrid. When are the matches going to be? So actually not too far away. Slavia Prague first, and then Real Madrid. Okay, I think what we do next episode then, we go through to like Brighton and Real Madrid. After that we do Schalke, or do we? No, I think what we do next episode, Prague and Liverpool, then Schalke and Everton, and then on to Cardiff and Real Madrid maybe to close off the group. But then, of course, things might change at that group. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. But actually, we're going to do Slavia Prague next episode. We'll do it next time round. That should be quite a good game. I'm looking forward to that. We have to have our first ever Champions League game on an episode, don't we? Whoever it's against. So it's got to be Slavia Prague next time around with Liverpool, of course, as well. So thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed our Champions League draw. I'm so excited for that. Slavia Prague coming up next episode. So I will see you then. Have a good one. Goodbye.